Your boss walks into a one-on-one, he has a request, not a suggestion, a request. Skip the attribution on the report, he says, or cover for a decision that went wrong, or take on work that was never in your scope and was never going to be recognized. You hear it. You feel that tight sensation in your chest, the one where your brain is calculating two things simultaneously. The right answer and the safe answer. And you give the safe answer. You say yes, even though you don't want to say yes. Later, in the elevator or in the car or at midnight when you are still awake, you ask yourself the question, why didn't I just say no? And here is the honest answer. It has nothing to do with your confidence, your assertiveness, or your communication skill. You said yes because you cannot afford to say no. And today I'm going to show you exactly how much money you need in the bank before you change that permanently. Most leadership advice will tell you to build your confidence, speak up more, assert yourself, hold your ground, read the book, practice the difficult conversations in the mirror. But the truth is, confidence without a financial safety net is courage on a borrowed time. You can summon it once, maybe twice, but under sustained professional pressure with an EMI due on the first, school fees that cannot wait, a loan you took 3 years ago, your courage expires. Not because you're weak, because the math is working against you every single day. And that is a concept in personal finance called FU money. The idea is simple. It is the amount of money you need in the bank before you can say no to anyone, your boss, your organization, an offer that is below your market value, without it destroying your life. But here is what nobody in the leadership space talks to you about. FU money is not about retirement. It is not about quitting your job and going to the mountains. It is about choices you make every single Tuesday morning in the conference room. It is about what you say when your boss proposes something that is in your gut, something that you feel uncomfortable with, that you disagree with. It is about the negotiation you walk into the next year and what you are actually willing to walk away from. A professional with 3 months of liquid savings and a professional with 12 months of liquid savings are not the same people in that room. They may have the same degree, the same experience, the same title even, but one of them has options. And everyone in that room can feel it, even if they cannot name it. Today, I'm going to give you the framework, the number, and the 3 moves to get there. Let me break this down into 3 levels. And I want you to be honest with yourself about exactly which one you are right now. Level 1, survival mode. That is when you have 0 to 3 months of expenses saved up as a liquid cash. This is the most dangerous professional position you can be, and the most common one as well. At level 1, you cannot say no to anything. Not to unreasonable deadlines, not to ethically grey requests, not to promotion offer that comes with a new title, additional scope, and a 7% increment when the market rate for that role maybe is 30% more than what you're actually drawing right now, or maybe it increases up to 50% in 2 years. Your financial pressure is making your career decisions in this place. And your boss, consciously or not, can sense it. It shows up in how you respond to feedback, how you negotiate, how much you absorb without reacting. I have watched careers with every ingredient for success get quietly destroyed at level 1. Not because of lack of talent, but because of the absence of runway. Now let's move to level number 2. Level 2, leverage mode, 3 to 6 months of liquid savings, right? At level 2, you begin to have choices. Not full choice, but the beginning of it. You can push back on some things. You can say, let me think about this and come back to you, and actually mean it, because you have the time to think without panicking. You have a discreet conversation with a recruiter without your hands going cold. You can negotiate your increment without accepting the first number because you have 3 months to find an alternative if the conversation does not go well. And this is not a power yet, by the way, but it is a posture. And posture in corporate environment is the first visible signal of leadership. Now, level number 3, power mode, 6 to 12 months of liquid savings. And I want to be very specific about the word liquid, not in your mutual funds, not in your PPF, not in your equity value of the flat. Liquid, accessible in 48 hours. In a savings account or liquid debt fund, you can reach before your notice period ends. At level 3, you negotiate. You walk away from a bad offer. You say no to your boss and sleep that night. You speak in the meetings the way you actually think and not in the way that is politely calculated. You stop performing calm. You start actually feeling it. And here is the insight that nobody prepares you for. The closer you get to level 3, the more you are perceived as a leader inside your organization. Not because you became arrogant or confrontational, because the absence of fear changes the quality of your presence in every room you walk into. Research from the financial independence community is unambiguous on this. The closer professionals get to financial safety, the more their colleagues describe them as confident, as experts, as leadership material, not because they change who they are, because they stop being afraid. And fear in a professional environment is invisible until it is gone. So, what is your number? Let me give you the real calculation. Specific to mid-level professionals in India, your level 3 target is 12 times your monthly expense. Not 12 times your salary, 12 times your expense. Here is why the distinction matters. Most professionals think in terms of income, but your financial safety is determined by your burn rate. How much goes out every month, regardless of what comes in. Your rent or home loan EMI, your children's school fees, your insurance premiums, your parents' expenses if you support them, groceries, transport, subscriptions, everything. Take your last 3 months of bank statement, add up every rupee that went out, divide by 3. That is your monthly expense baseline. That is the denominator for your safety calculation. If your monthly expenses say 60,000 rupees, conservative for a manager level professional in say Bangalore or Mumbai, your level 3 target is 7.2 lakhs in liquid savings. If your monthly expense is say 1 lakh rupees, more typical for a senior manager with a family and an EMI, your target is rupees 12 lakhs liquid. I want you to sit with that number for a moment. Not with anxiety, but with clarity, because the most dangerous thing is not the gap between where you are and where you need to be. The most dangerous thing is not knowing your number, which means financial fear is currently running your career decisions on autopilot with no awareness of the gap and no plans to close it. The reason most professionals never reach level 3 is not income. People at 80,000 rupees a month stay stuck in level 1 for 10 years, and professionals at 1.5 lakhs reach level 3 in 3. The difference is never the salary, it is always the strategy. And the strategy starts with 3 moves, which I'm going to give you right now. Move number 1, calculate your actually monthly expense this week, not your estimated number, right? Your actual number from your statements. Most professionals know their salary to the decimal, but most cannot name their monthly outgoing without pausing to calculate. That gap is the entire problem. You cannot build safety net around a number you do not know. Open your bank statements from the last 3 months this week. Do the calculation, write the number down. That single act of financial clarity is more useful than anything else you can do for your entire career right now. So move number 2, open a dedicated account and name it, not a new investment vehicle, right? A separate savings account or a liquid mutual fund, especially and only for your career runway. And name it on your phone, in your bank app, in your own thinking. Call it your no fund, not your emergency fund. Your emergency fund is for medical crisis, for genuine emergencies. Your no fund is for professional ones. It is the money that lets you say no to a title with no real authority, no to an appraisal that is 8% when inflation is at 6% and the market has moved to say 25% for that role. No to being managed by someone whose integrity you cannot trust. You cannot fake professional clarity with personal scripts and communication framework while operating from financial survival mode. The account has to come first. And move number 3 is automate a fixed monthly contribution. Treat it like an EMI or an SIP. The reason most people never build financial safety is the same reason they never build anything financial consistently. They save what is left at the end of the month, which is in most months, nothing. Treat your no fund contribution as a fixed, non-negotiable monthly deduction. The same psychological weight as your rent, your home loans, or EMIs, your insurance premium. Even a 5,000 rupees a month started consistently builds to 60,000 in 12 months. In 3 years, with even modest increases as your salary grows, you cross into level 2. In 5 years, with intent and discipline, level 3 is within your reach for most professionals in this salary band. And the professionals you become at level 3 is not a different person. It is you without the financial pressure that is currently making decisions on your behalf. Let me tell you what actually changes when you reach level 3, because it is not what most people expect. It is not that you become confrontational. It is not that you challenge your boss in every meeting or make speeches about your principles in performance reviews. That is not leadership. That is ego, and it tends to end careers, not advance them. What changes is subtler and far more permanent. When your annual increment comes in at 6%, you do not spiral. You do the math. You prepare the data on your market value. You have the direct conversation and you mean it when you say you will evaluate your options, because you actually can. When a colleague who was junior to you gets a role you were not considered for, you do not absorb the frustration silently for the next 6 months and let it leak into your performance. You have a structured, direct conversation with your manager about your development trajectory, not from a place of threat, from a place of clarity. When your boss asks you to do something that crosses a line for you, you do not give the safe answer automatically, which is to say yes. You have the half a second lead where your values and your math are aligned, and you respond like a leader instead of a hostage. You cannot fake this. You cannot read enough books or attend enough coaching sessions to manufacture the presence that comes from knowing your bills are covered for the next 12 months, regardless of what happens in that boardroom tomorrow. The money is not the goal. It is the foundation, and without it, every leadership skill you develop, every communication framework, every executive presence technique is being built on sand. Your work should speak for itself, but you cannot let your work speak for itself if financial fear is holding the microphone. So here is exactly where to start today. Open your bank statement from the last 3 months. Calculate your monthly expense. Write the number down. That one act of clarity is more valuable than anything else you will do for your career this week. Then ask yourself honestly, am I level 1, level 2 or level 3? If you are level 1, your immediate priority is not your next promotion. It is the 3-month liquid savings. That is the financial move that will do more for your professional trajectory than any skill you can build right now. And if you are at level 2, set a specific date, not a vague intention, a specific date when you will reach level 3, and open your no fund account this week. And if you are already in level 3, good. The question is whether you are using that advantage, because sitting on 12 months of financial safety and still saying yes to everything because it is politically convenient is the most expensive professional mistake you can make. You cannot lead from a position of financial fear. You have to lead from a position of financial choice. That is the difference between a professional who's good at their job and a leader who's impossible to ignore. Now, if you have stuck around until this time, if you have come all the way to the end of this video until this point, thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and please make sure that you share it with someone who may need it so that they can get to what they really want to achieve in their lives. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.